What's up, creative community? What's up? How you guys doing? This is a sacred moment. Welcome to the CoachMc studio. This is the studio where we'll help you to shape unique behavior deliveries and where we'll help you to get recognized in the audition room. Once again, I'm thrilled that you guys are joining a channel today. I'm having an espresso with you guys, and this is something truly important for a Sicilian. In the life of an Italian, drinking espresso is like one of those little moments, one of those little islands, one of those little oases during the day that kind of help us to recover, to kind of get back to our senses. And today, I want to reflect on the past by giving you a very crucial and also a very risky advice. I'm aware of this fact, and I'm also aware of the fact that a lot of people are feeling comfortable by touching upon this issue, by touching upon this topic, because like I said, it's risky. But hey, if it's not risky, it's not worth it. Today we're gonna talk about that I want you to fail in this video. So let's see what's cooking. It's beautiful. So I feel truly blessed because you guys keep giving me feedback. You guys keep giving us that response that we're looking for, that loop of energy I'm always talking about. And a lot of questions you guys have are concerning one of the, I think, most crucial points about the CoachMc studio and about what I try to share with you guys, what I try to give you as acting tool, as performing tool, as creative tool. When I say risk something, go out there and make it big, make it grand, and dive into, you know, these various pockets of creativity and always try to make it even better, right? And always try to step up the game a little and always try to put some more fire and steam into your performance. Of course, you keep asking me, well, if I keep doing that, you know, chances are I'm gonna fail at the audition. Chances are I'm gonna slip up somewhere. Chances are I'm gonna lose control. Chances are I'm gonna do some mistakes. And that is true. You will fail. You will do some mistakes if you keep doing what I'm telling you to do or what I'm advising you to consider during the audition, or you know, during the rehearsals, or during your shooting schedule. You might fail, you might slip up, you might do some mistakes, you might misjudge the situation because you've exaggerated something, or your behavior wasn't really on point, or where you kind of oversketched your character. That is all true, and by all means, that is exactly what I'm encouraging you to do. And it's not irresponsible. It is actually more responsible than telling you play it safe. It's more responsible to tell you do some mistakes now so you can prevent 100 mistakes in the future than to tell you just play it safe, right? Don't risk anything. Stay in your comfort zone. Just play it nice and neatly. Just try to accommodate everybody. Just be comfortable. If I would tell you stuff like that, chances are your career is gonna be over before you're gonna go to your next audition. Because great acting, great auditions are not made of people that are trying to stay in their comfort zone. If you want to be in the foreground, if you want to be on top of the game, if you want to be right there where the action happens on the front line, if you want to be recognized and in the spotlight, catching on that searing sensation of being, you know, in the center and the focus of attention, if you want to pull your audience, your casting director into your life, into your system, well, you have to risk something. What I'm trying to say is I failed and I will continue failing for the rest of my life. I did some horrible mistakes during auditions and also on set and on stage. I did horrible mistakes because I'm continuously curious about exploring where my performance could go. I'm never really satisfied. I've never really finished my character. I never feel like accomplished with my role and say, okay, now that's it. This is how I played for the rest of the movie or for the rest of the day or for the rest of the scene. I always try to jump into different pockets of creativity, like I say, and sometimes I fail. Sometimes the director approaches me and say, that doesn't work. And it's good that he approaches me and gives me that type of feedback. So I know exactly what works and what not. I can dump it. I don't need that anymore. That I checked out already. It doesn't work. And that is beautiful. In our business, creativity, imagination, and creating something that is truly outstanding is based on experience, is based on how we perceive things. If we stay in the theory, if we stay in that comfortable zone where nothing really happens, where everything is kind of mediocre, our performance risks to be boring. And that is way worse than risking something and failing. Risk to fail because you wanted to achieve something big, something important, something that is truly like part of you, instead of not risking anything and playing it safe because you wanted to accommodate everybody. You wanted to make everybody happy out there. If you try to make everybody happy out there, you won't be happy, my friend. By all means, you have to fail. Mistakes are part of our job. A lot of issues that we have with failing and doing mistakes and all that partially comes from our educational system, comes from our parents, from our family, comes from the pressure of our environment. Also some acting schools that will tell you, this is the technique, this is how you have to do it, this is the way, right? This is the best method and all that. And to a certain extent, you have to take, what's necessary, take in what you can use. But then again, if it doesn't make sense to you, discard it and try something else. And yeah, chances are that won't work by the first time. And maybe not by the second time. But maybe the third time, it will work so well that you feel like that a change has happened. You need those shifts. You need those changes of speed, of dynamic, of experience, of acknowledgement. Isn't there anything more beautiful for an artist than to discover that something is new, blossoming up? Sometimes we stumble up with our lines because we realize, okay, there is something going on that is new. Oh God, how can I control that? How can I use that? How can I kind of canalize that, right? And probably the first time it won't work, but that's okay. No master has fallen from the sky. And remember, we all are practitioners. We all are newbies. There are no masters. But there will be always a moment where you have to challenge yourself, where you have to kind of plunge into something completely new, and you have to risk that dive. You have to plunge deep into dark waters sometimes, unknown waters, uncharted territory. But that is vital to your craft. If you don't do that, you won't grow. You won't develop. You won't evolve. Creativity doesn't happen when you're safe. Creativity happens when everything is at stake. When you have to risk everything. Creativity happens when you are under pressure, when you have to look for the ultimate solution, when things that are surrounding you aren't just enough to portray, to interpret, to jump into something that is so believable, the audience won't be blown away by things that you are used to because your brain is used to it. If you are just playing stuff that your brain knows, that your body knows, that your system is acquainted with, it's always a very safe, very comfortable delivery, but that won't create that tension that you need to impress your audience, to impact the casting director, to really convince him, to give you that chance, to give you that shot. You need to convince the casting director that you are worth that shot. And you know how to do it? By being courageous. Touching upon this moment that we're all living, that we're all facing, there is this crisis, this global crisis going on. Everybody is at home, and I've never seen such an amount of creativity out there. I've never seen so many people like in this period right now that are finally opening up, that are finally able to express what they got inside of themselves. Because they feel so much pressure, they feel the urge to find a solution because they know maybe this crisis will change the way we understand industry and our global markets forever, and maybe I won't be able to go to my 9-to-5 job anymore, so I have to invent something. I have to come up with a different solution. I have to work from home. I have to build an e-commerce site. I have to be more convincing with my self-tapes. I have to book that next role. This crisis helped a lot of creative heads to realize that they are creative. What kind of potential they have, I think. Because I've never saw so many different pockets of creativity like I saw in the last couple of months during this crisis. I never saw so much offer on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. I've never saw so many different ideas and solutions. They're using the smallest space available in their apartment to show their exercises, to teach people. They are online offering something new. They are more generous than they used to be because they know they have to attract new customers, new clientele, and also maybe they want to share something before everything is over. So sometimes the necessity of finding the solution forces our brain to be creative because there is nothing, I'm telling you, there is nothing worse than being mediocre, than being accommodated in this comfortable zone of gray matter. Sometimes we have to cross that border. If we don't cross borders anymore, if we're all living in our closed systems, we can't let the sunlight in. We can't let new ideas, inspirations, vectors into our system. There won't be any new spark. Gray matter means we kill creativity, we kill imagination. And I see a lot of people, and that encourages me a lot. That gives me hope for the future. I saw a lot of people recently like saying, no, I'm trying something new now. Catching up with your own talents, catching up with your own creativity. Right now, this is probably one of the best business advice I could give you. And yes, you might fail with that. And yes, you might do some mistakes. And yes, it might be frustrating. It's always frustrating when you're trying something new, when you're challenging yourself in the beginning. But afterwards, it's gonna be better and better. I would feel like being an irresponsible coach for you guys if I would tell you just play it safe. If I would tell you just stay comfortable. If I would tell you don't risk anything. Because I feel like that I make the most progress in my life, personally, whenever I reached out, whenever I stepped out of my comfort zone. I'm not feeling like more empowered than anybody else. I was forced to do so. And then I started to realize, okay, maybe sometimes I have to put myself into this forced position that there is no other exit way rather than to risk something. Michael Caine once said, if your shoulders are standing against the wall, there's only one way left, straight ahead. If you are pressed against the wall, what will you do? Surrender? Give up? No. You push forward, no matter what. And realizing, oh, I can do that. I never thought about that. I just want to encourage you to use your potential. And probably you don't even know what kind of potential you have and how much that potential could potentially change the world. When I started realizing that I was always the best version of myself, when I had the necessity of achieving something, when there was no other solution than succeeding, then over time, I started to place myself in these uncomfortable situations. I risked a little bit to get on that edge where there is no point of return because I had so much confidence in myself and with my tools that I knew exactly my brain needs that. Because my brain always tries to take the path of least resistance. I've learned how to trick my brain, how to put myself in a situation where there was no way out, where the only way was success. And I had to come up with a solution. And now this is a sort of a mechanism that I use almost subconsciously. My first recommendation would be is to trust yourself a little bit more and try a different path. That's what I'm encouraging you to do. Risk something, because that's, I think, the only solution that you got in today's world. If you're not standing out, if you're not weird, if you're not a little bit crazy, if you're not trying to do something else, right? Because there's a recipe for everything. If you are following the recipe that everybody else is using, well, you're cooking the same dish. The casting director doesn't want to eat the same dish week in, week out, every day of the week. He wants to taste something challenging. He wants his palate to be surprised by your ingredients, by your dish, what you had to offer. So I hope this helps you guys to always questioning whether you are taking the path of least resistance or if you're doing something truly complicated and difficult that feels like it's hard labor and sweat. Because usually 99.9% of all the times, that path that costs you the most energy, that costs you the most sweat, that costs you the most blood and passion, usually that is the way to success. Not the comfortable, mediocre way like everybody else is doing. Force yourself to be on that edge where there is no way out, no way back, where you just have to jump. Billy Wilder, the legendary director, once said, you know what's so great about actors? Human beings that fall on the ground, they stand up and they look terrible. Actors, they fall on the ground, they stand up and they look better than before. Look better than before. Make mistakes, learn out of them, process them, implement them, and get better with them. Have so much fun. Enjoy your risks. Thanks so much, guys, for sticking with us till the end. It was a great pleasure sharing this inspirational, motivational coffee break, make sure to share this video to your community, because ultimately our mission here at the CoachMc Studio is to create a thriving community of great actors, artists and performers for ever better performances, truly remarkable performances. Also smash the bell to get notified every time we grind out a new video, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't so far. If you have any question, if you have any inquiry, if you need anything, any coaching service, then jump to our website. It's the CoachMc.studio and send us an email with your questions, with your messages, and we will respond as soon as possible. See you next time with the next video, guys. Now you're ready to perform.